Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the Tangle Ibiscu from CZT Ria Matheussen. This is an adorable tangle. And let me apologize in advance. I had to go back to my phone because the other thing kept locking up on me. And I wanted to get this done tonight. All right, so it's wanting to autofocus. So I'm going to try to move slow, and so that way it doesn't do that very often. All right, this one starts off with a dot grid. So I'm going to get mine going right here. And this is how sometimes I like to do a dot grid. And that is, I'll start kind of in the center and then work my way. This one's turning out sort of interesting, but it's okay. And this dot grid is, small dots, so somewhere between, a small filled-in orb and a dot. So, all right. Then the next step is, if you have done the tangle poke leaf. This is a similar stroke, where we do the leaf part. And I'm going to draw it upside down. There's a couple ways you can do this. Usually I draw it, kind of going up. But I know I had a challenge getting this shape. I still do sometimes. So it's essentially an S shape on one side. So I'm going to go from this orb and going to the corner. One thing I want to make sure to note is, however you have your grid set up, you want these little petals to be on the diagonal, not up and down like as your grid is. So however you want your grid, these petals need to be diagonal for the tangle to work. All right, so there's S shape going one direction and then mirroring it going the opposite direction, just like so. And I'm going to do that on all of them. Now, something with this, you can, if you want to, so I'm doing all of these steps, we're going in the same direction. Sometimes it's nice because you get into the groove of doing it in the one direction. You get the angle. We're not messing around, flipping the towel back and forth where you could kind of lose that angle. So that's one way. You could do all four petals if you want to at once. Now, something that I think I'm going to do here right now, instead of going to the next one, so for instance, what I would do next is do, sometimes when you get one way of doing things, you just want to stay that way. I like to go in this direction. So I can do, going next to each other like that. But you could also, as I'm going to do on these other ones, is you could do diagonal. So like so. And then come back. And then you're still going diagonal. And I'm kind of thinking this might be a safer bet to have kind of consistency, because as I've been playing with this, I'm like, yeah, I need to work on that consistency thing. Yeah, but they kind of look nice. So I think I might do that with the rest of them. But like I said, you could do all four if you want. In whatever order works for you. Whoops. Well, let's see. And sometimes they don't come out as great as I want. I do want them to stay little. I seem to be all of a sudden getting a little bit big, but it's all right. Okay, then we'll do the other side. Something to mention also, this one has some nice options. So you could use this as a border tangle, or a ribbon, however you want to call it, or I've called them like line tangles, where they would go in a line. But so you could just put your dots wherever, in that line, like I'll say if it's along a string line or something, and then you do this step, and then the next step, then, you would kind of finish it sort of from there. It's a little bit customized, but not anything, really big. You would just do, say, the next step, but not anything after that. And so that could look really, really neat. Oh, let me just get to the next step then before. So, and then I'll maybe show you why, not to do it the other way. All right. So next step is we're going to do some curved lines. And we're going to basically kind of pair up the little flowers. So from this one, so I'm going from this tip, so let's say, let me point it this way, and we're going to work on the left side of these. So the interior, so this one that's pointing down, this one that's pointing up, I'm going to connect those 2 points with a curved line. And going same thing, down one, and connecting them with a curved line. If you want to use this as a border, we're going to end up curving this the other way as well, but then that would be your border, and that's where you would stop. Actually, you know what? Let me do that so that way you can kind of see what that would look like. Okay, because on all of them we're going to connect all of the little ends, but that could be kind of cute as a border. All right, but this one, so I'm just going to keep continuing along my little merry way here, just doing the one side. That's my tile is moving underneath me. Let's try that better. Okay, and then turn 180 degrees, and same thing. Except so here we've already done it, but you can see. So this, this side. Whoa. Okay. And good to just not go so fast. Talking to myself. I'll have to neaten that up a little bit somehow. Add a little weight there or something, and then I'll just have to go through with on the other ones and maybe do that too, because that is the one thing, at least for me, is like if I can, when I have something that has ends like that, I always need to really work to have them meet up smoothly. And see, and you can just go over these lines just like so, thickening them up a little bit at the same time, but taking away kind of a little bit of the sloppiness of it. All right, then we're going to, same thing, rinse and repeat. Doing this side now. Now I'll go a little bit slower. And then this one, see, although I should have waited, but we're going to essentially trace over the bottoms of these. Oops, let me go through this one. And sometimes it's just easier it's just the one stroke, the one side, then you're repeating it, and then you don't have to think, which is part of the idea of Zentangle, right? Is to not think too much, just do. All right, then the last turn, same thing, we're doing this side. Oops, almost missed. Because it's so busy in here, it's easy to miss that. All right, and then... yeah, and there we have it. And so it's, mine's a little bit whimsical, and that's okay. Now, while this is kind of cute this way, there is one final step, and it's doing this same shape we did for these petals, but we're going to do it on the opposite. Instead of connecting, we're connecting this petal to this petal, we're going to do it right within that flower. So, for instance, right here, like so. And so just at every flower tip, and this one is kind of a big one. And it's just kind of a neat finishing off touch. Oops, and then one here. And like I said, it's for me, it's a matter of just going slow and watching my pen. So that way everything meets and I'm not having to make anything up afterwards. Except for just, sometimes things just happen and that's okay. Alright. And that's cute. Alright, so that's essentially it. So then you get to have all of the fun. Oops, sorry, I'm shaking the thing. All of the fun of doing some shading. And I'm going to do it this way. Yeah, I'm just going to add some graphite into these big round areas in between. And I'm just putting some graphite down, and then I'm going to come back in a second with my tortillon and we'll smooth all of that out. Oops. Let's get a dark one. Okay. But I could totally see having lots of fun with color on this. But this is kind of a neat and fun thing to do, just using graphite. And like I said, I don't put a lot in. I just scribble it like that, and then I smooth it out with the tortillon. And yeah, that's kind of cute. You know, and I'm thinking we would probably need to do those outside guys too. So let's do that. In the description section, I am going to share, besides my step out, I will share, for more inspiration, I will put the link to the Tangle Addicts, to the entry on there, just so you can see what other things that Ria did with hers. So this is kind of neat, because then what's popping out is the little flowers. That's kind of neat. And then I'm also thinking, ooh, this would be cool. All right, let's just color in black in these little sections. So this is also, of course, course correction. So if I'm coloring this in, then you'll see some of these thick lines. They don't look so thick because I've now just colored that whole section in with black, and so you don't really see it. I mean, right here, like in between, but then it's just not, to me, it just doesn't, it's not as visible. And, oh, and then that kind of makes things pop even a little bit more. So really neat. Okay, let me throw, what do I got time here? All right, let me, well, I could let you play with that idea, but I'm almost thinking, wouldn't it be neat to could do an aura around the whole outside if I wanted to. That could look really neat, or just, you know, leave it as it is. But just, oh, you know what, I did see on hers, do a little line in each petal coming from that center. I mean, just the line, or the line dot dot, these are like my favorite things. I almost forgot about that. And you know what, and I apologize, I did not put that in the step out. I think it was more of an extra thing that I saw in some of her work with this tangle. So know that, oh, that, yes. So just really adorable. And I hope you enjoyed it. So if you did, would love to have thumbs up. They're much appreciated. And if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel and like this enough to maybe see more, would love to have you subscribe. I am posting something every day, unless something, you know, drastically weird happens, but which shouldn't interfere anyway. But posting every day, and just so that way you know. So if you do click to subscribe, that's where I was going with this, so sorry. Make sure to hit the notification bell next to it, so that way you can decide how you want to be notified, if you want to be notified at all. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this, and I wish you happy tangling.